video, we'll be going over 2 more problems for long division, and this time we'll be thinking of it more abstractly. We won't be using the base 10 blocks, but we're still going to think of it as sharing. And for this first problem, we have 2,107 divided by 9. We're going to think of this as sharing $2,107 among 9 people. So how much money does each person get? So first we start with the thousands. We have 2 thousands. Can we share those 2 thousands so that everybody gets at least one? No, we cannot. We don't have enough. So we're going to think of those thousands now as hundreds instead. So each thousand is the same as 10 hundreds. So 2 thousands would be like 20 hundreds. Plus we have this 100 here from our original number. So we have 21 hundreds to share. So if we have 21 hundreds to share, we can give each person 2 of those hundreds, because 2 times 9 would use up 18 of those hundreds, and we would have 3 left over. 21 minus 18 is 3. So we have 3 hundreds left over to share. We can't share those among 9 people, so we now think of these as tens. Each hundred is 10 tens, so 3 hundreds would be 30 tens. We don't have any tens in our original number, so we just bring down that 0, and we have 30 tens to share. So we can give each person 3 tens. I know that because I know my math facts. 9 times 3 is 27, which is pretty close to 30. And I put that right above the tens because I'm sharing the tens. Just like last time, I wrote the 2 above the hundreds because I was sharing hundreds. So now I take those 3 tens times 9 is 27 tens that I used up, leaving me with 3 tens. Again, I can't share those 3 tens among 9 people, so I think of them as ones, so I can share the ones. 3 tens would be 30 ones. And I bring down the 7 ones that I started with. So I have 37 ones to share among 9 people. Here again, my math facts come in handy. I know that 9 times 4 is 36. So I can give them each 4 ones. And again, I write that over the ones. So I use up 36 ones because 4 times 9 is 36. And I have 1 left over. So I can say remainder 1. Or if I want to be more precise, I can say 234 and we'll say 1/9. So you take that remainder over the divisor and you get 1/9. So very precisely, each person would get $234 and 1/9 dollar. We could make that a decimal as well, but for now we're just going to leave it as a fraction. That's our first problem. Now we'll try another. Here's our second problem. We have 6,123 divided by 24. So this time our divisor is 2 digits, but we're going to use our same technique to solve this problem. We want to think of it as sharing, and we're just going to think about money because that's easy to visualize. $6,123 shared among 24 people. So we start with our thousands place. We have 6 thousands. Can we share those thousands so that each of the 24 people get at least 1? No, we cannot. We don't have enough. So we think of these thousands now as hundreds. So 1 1,000 equals 10 hundreds. So if I have 6 1,000s, I have 60 hundreds. Plus I have the 100 that I started with. So I have 60 100s. So now I can share those 60 100s among 24 people. And when I think about this, I kind of round this in my head to 25. And if I do 25 times 2, I get 50. So I can't take 3 of these because I'd be closer to 75, which would be too much. I only have 60 100s to share. So I give each person 2. And I put the 2 above the hundreds because I'm sharing hundreds. So now, if I take 2 times 24, that's 48. So I used up 48 of the hundreds because I gave each of these 24 people 2 hundreds. I use up 48. I take 61 minus 48, and I get 13. So I have 13 hundreds left. Now I can't share 13 hundreds among 24 people, so I think of these now as tens. So 13 hundreds would be 130 tens, because each hundred is 10 tens. So if I bring down my 10 that I already have, that I started with, the 2 tens, I end up with 132 tens to share. So now, how many 24s go into 132? Well, again, I can think of this as 25 in my head, just rounding it, so I can do some quick math. There's 4 25s in 100. So I could go one more because I have 32. So I would guess 5. So I go off to the side here and I do 24 times 5 to see if my guess is good. 4 times 5 is 20, 120. So 5 times 24 would give me 120. If I went up to 6, I would be at 148 because I'd add another 24. That would be too high. I only have 132 tens to share. So I'm going to go with 5. So 5 times 24 is 120. So I put the 5 above the tens because I was sharing tens, and I gave each of the 24 people 5 tens. 5 times 24 is 120. Now I subtract again, and I get 12. So that's 12 tens left over. Now again, I don't have enough tens to share among my 24 people, so I think of them as ones. 12 tens would be 120 ones. And I bring down the 3 ones that I started with. I have 123 ones to share. So now again, let's see here. How many 24s can go into that? I knew that 5 24s was 120, so that's as close as I'm going to get again. So I'm going to do 5 again. 5 times 24 is 120, and I get 3 as a remainder. So remainder 3. Or if I want to be more precise, again, I can write that as a fraction. So if I have 3 over 24 left over, I put the remainder over the divisor, and I can simplify that to 1/8. So if you haven't learned fractions yet, use this remainder for now. The answer would be 255, remainder 3.